What is going on, guys? My name is Mike Reilley and welcome to Reilley's Tasting Room. Today, we have some Kentucky bourbon. Well, kind of. We have Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale from Lexington Brewing Company. Let's get into it. Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale, Lexington Brewing and Distilling Company. American Strong Ale, 8.2% ABV, 19 IBUs. Aged for up to 6 weeks in freshly decanted bourbon barrels from some of Kentucky's finest distilleries. Subtle, yet a familiar flavor of vanilla and oak are imparted in this special ale as it rests in its barrels. Pleasantly and smooth with robust flavors. This is also an after-dinner drink. Launched in 2006, it has grown to become the flagship beer and a premier name in barrel-aged beers. All right, guys, so we have it. You know, this is a really nice color. You know, it does remind me of bourbon, as it should. So we have, like I mentioned, Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale, established 1999, so they've been around for a little bit, so they should probably know what they're doing. Like I mentioned, they are a brewery and a distillery, so they're getting fresh beer, brewing it straight up, and then they're storing it for weeks into a bourbon barrel after this. And I'm telling you, just the color of this reminds me of, I mean, obviously there's some carbonation in there, but it reminds me of a bourbon. And let's get a smell test. Let's see if it smells like beer, smells like bourbon. You know, I'm not really getting too many, like too much smell of a bourbon in there, but it does smell good. It kind of has, I mean, it gives you that ale smell, as it should, because it is a normal ale. But, you know, I think we've been waiting too long. This beer needs to take a sip. Let's get into it. Cheers. Okay, so definitely when I'm taking a sip and the notes are opening, you smell a little bit more of like that Kentucky bourbon smell to it. That taste, that's all I can say, like that taste. You know, it's a very different type of, of ale that you would normally get. Obviously stored with bourbon, so you do get that back note of almost like a bourbon. Like if you were to take a dark ale that's similar to this, and put a little bit, let's say half of a shot of bourbon in there, I feel like that's what you would get with this. And if you like your bourbon and you like your beer, which who doesn't, or you wouldn't be here, hit that subscribe button while you are here. You know, we're loving this and I hope you guys are too. But overall, I mean, this is a really good taste. So, yeah, I mean, you do get that back end bourbon. You do get the carbonation and the hops with the ale. And when you let it sit, so I know it does mention that it has a little bit of vanilla and oak. I don't necessarily taste like the oak of there, but I feel like that's similar to what bourbons usually have in the back end. So it has more of the bourbon taste, but after you let it sit and you swallow for a second, you get a smooth vanilla like taste to it, which is not bad at all. I don't think that I could sip on like a lot of these. I mean, it's also coming in at 8.2%, so if I sipped a lot of these, I'd probably be feeling it. But I don't think I could drink a lot of these, but I could have a couple of these and I would be completely satisfied. I think the flavor is definitely there. Bourbon, not my first choice of alcohol, but this bourbon ale, it might be up there if I'm trying to change flavor up and I'm trying to have a little bit of different taste. So on the bottle, it has little accents of the bourbon barrels, which I think is pretty cool. This bottle looks pretty cool itself. It kind of matches the distillery look. I would be assuming that like a whiskey and bourbon barrels normally have. And I think that it's cool that this brewery also, I'm going to have to leave me a comment down below if you guys think that I should try maybe some of the Lexington Brewing companies and distilleries whiskey. So we could have something paired together. Leave me a comment if you guys would like to see that. But I can kind of see these going hand in hand, and this is not a problem. I don't see anything wrong with this at all, especially when it tastes like this. But overall, like I mentioned, I don't think I could have 5, 6 of these because I'd be feeling it, and the bourbon taste is a little overbearing to me. But if you like this, this is 100% the beer for you, and I could definitely see how this is becoming one of the top-notch bourbon ales out there. So I think realistically, this for a Kentucky Bourbon Ale, this has to be at like that 3.2, 3.5-ish range out of 5. And you know, that's really good. And I could do this all the time. I could drink these. I could have a couple of these every once in a while. I hope you guys like that, and I hope that you guys enjoyed another beer with me in Reilley's Tasting Room. And if you guys like that, don't be a stranger. Go down there, hit that subscribe button, and let me know what you guys want to see next on Reilley's Tasting Room. I'm going to leave all of Lexington Brewing Company's information in the description below. So go down there, hit the subscribe button, and I'm going to see you guys at the next one. Cheers.